preview. I think we're live. I'm pretty sure we are. We will never do a video where we don't start off
No, we can't.
You have to go back to the live setting that you were at, and where it says view from watch.
Streaming for 3 seconds, 4 seconds.
Yeah, go to there you go, live. Now it says live. But it says 16 seconds though, live. Have we actually been live for 16 seconds, guys? Let us know.
Oh my God, this is terrible.
So we had a little bit
of a... I don't see anything.
You have to go back to that page and go to view page. Nope, the page the page that has all the other crap. The one that you set the event up from. The live event page.
Yeah, that's what this is.
No, well, not that part of it though. Go to the other part. Go scroll to the top. Mm-hmm. And click on info and settings. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, you can do it right there. View from right there. Boom. That's where you want to go. And that should kick us in.
So we have 0. Oh, we're unlisted.
Yeah, well, this one's unlisted. There we go.
So now we have to go to...
Now you go to the thing and change it to... No, the new link.
Where are we going? It says it can't be reached. Yeah, because it's unlisted.
Oh, it's unlisted. You should make it public.
I don't know how to make it. Where are we?
You go to edit video.
Oh my God.
And then...
Public.
There you go. Save.
You guys have been live for 15 minutes now.
No, that's the old link.
Oh.
Yeah, you're at the old
link.
link.
We have to kill that old link somehow. So
well, you can just make that one private and it'll just go away. But I would write in the chat room.
I did. I gave him that link already.
Okay. Yeah, follow the link that's in the chat room. Hey guys, so we're doing this as always. So I don't know what happened that time.
It's too many things talking at the same time. That's the problem. It was like Sling Studio plus YouTube plus my phone.
Yeah.
Are we live?
We're totally live, definitely.
All right, so let me go to the view page here.
Yeah, we're definitely live, guys. You can tell us how long we've been live.
Jesus Christ, I don't...
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, we're definitely, I mean...
Hold on. Of course you can't. Why would you be able to access it?
We'll just go to youtube.com/ is it Seth?
Oh no, it says live now.
Yeah, it's live. Yeah, it says 2 minutes and 25 seconds.
Just nobody's in there.
Oh, cool. Well, because we were live unlisted, now we're listed, so it's going to start populating one watching. There you go. That's either you.
I guess that's me, yeah.
What's good about it, if you watch your own video, you always feel like you're not alone because it says one watching.
Oh my God. Let me...
All right, so Seth is going to share the link now. So we had a bit of a flub.
Wave snafu.
Yeah, somehow there was a missing area, the ingestion.
Hey, Mike, what's up? Sorry.
We got it.
Sorry. Took us a minute, but...
Actually, this was basically the test to see how much you really want to watch this.
Oh my God.
It was like, if you can jump through these hoops.
Hold on, let me just situate myself.
Yeah, so Seth's going to share that link. But yeah, so we were here today shooting some stuff. Oh, can I talk about my stands?
Yeah,
since we're in?
Yeah, since I'm like...
I'm going to plug while he's doing this. So Savage, the paper company, asked me to do a video about these stands.
Oh, they're actually pretty cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. So I'm off the video.
Oh, sorry about the fake link there.
I'll do it from the back so you guys can see. So basically, I just did a video. I was supposed to have it live on Friday, but we had to make some changes. That's why we're here today. But basically, this leg goes down flat. Not even in the thing. I'm probably in it. So that you can kind of maneuver it under stuff. So we got a pretty cool video coming.
Can we open up the...
Yeah, because it got dark, I think. I'm going to give us more ISO.
Yeah. You don't need any lights, man. It's a Sony.
It's a Sony.
It's a Sony. All right, I'm still trying.
ISO 800. You guys can tell us if we'll go to 1600.
All right, you have to reshare this link too, by the way.
Right, I'm going to reshare it from over here.
Hold on. Let me put your name in there, all nice and... Not
all right, I'll do it after in a second.
Sorry guys, this is like the shadiest.
This is how we do it.
Whatever, my page only has like 5 subscribers anyway, so don't worry about it.
It's all right, so start queuing up your questions. Oh, it sounds good. So we finally got the sound right.
Okay.
It takes a while to figure.
Well, at least we're listed, unlike on your channel. We were unlisted for 2 hours.
2 hours.
All right, so I've been sick for like the last week, so I apologize if I'm like dying right now and you can't understand what I'm saying. Yeah, well, so now we delete the first story so they don't go to that link. All right, just don't use the Sony batteries. Whoa!
Yes, exactly.
It's true. Those Sony batteries.
They're terrible.
The dry cell ones. That's what you're talking about? Those like silver ones? Yeah, they're dry cell. They found them real cheap, so everyone in New York has been using them. It's been kind of funny.
I mean, it says Sony, so everybody's like, oh, but...
Oh, it must be great, yeah. And they're actually less damaging to the environment because there's no acids in them, but still it's...
How do you delete a...
Go to the bottom right, those 3 dots, and then hit delete. Yeah, we're technically sound clearly. All right, so we're doing a Q&A, so I figured, go ahead.
Go ahead. That's your answer.
Okay, so now we're just stone quiet. And I'm talking to Daniel off camera here. I apologize. There is a Daniel here today, I promise.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to share the link.
Does it show any people watch? It doesn't really.
Yeah, you can see it on YouTube on the video.
Whatever. Daniel and Ken made a silent movie the other night. Is that
Yes,
what
we did.
happened? You guys lost.
It wasn't silent as much as it was static. And by the way, that was awesome. Like everything happened at the same time, and I'm glad you guys stuck with us. Because Kent's crazy. So yeah, I didn't even know. Do you know Kent came to New York as a drummer in a rock band?
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know. I just always think of him as Kent the photographer. So there you go. But yeah, so we decided that we were here doing stuff. I was reshooting part of that thing for that stand, which is very exciting, and you guys will see that video. It's pretty cool. We used Rent the Runway. By the way, if anybody is in a city that has Rent the Runway, I'm totally going to give them a free plug. Rent the Runway, I'm just giving you a free plug.
Yeah, we used Rent the Runway for our Go Studios hands-on.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Jeez, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, so basically you select items that you want. And normally like it'll be like $40 or $80 to rent like a $300 dress, and then you get it for a couple days. I think it's 4 days, and then you return it. So it's basically great if you want to use it for stuff. But if you're trying to do photo shoots, you can get these expensive gowns without like the risk of buying it and having to return it, which is kind of sleazy. But they're doing a special, $99 for a month of unlimited rentals.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
So yeah, so we basically got 4 dresses, and we went in, and I think we shot 3 of them in that video. But so you'll see a lot of gown dresses with Marissa in the next, because I put it under her name because we were using it for that. So if you notice, her in a lot of gowns.
Rent the Runway is like a block away from Adorama. So you go to Adorama Rentals, get a bunch of gear, then go to Rent the Runway, get a bunch of dresses.
Pick up your stuff.
Then go on Instagram, rent a bunch of models, and then you can fake yourself a career right there.
That's how you do it.
Done. It's over.
Easy enough.
All right.
Well, it's super useful. I mean, seriously, it's good. I actually discovered it years ago when this woman hired me to shoot it. She was like she had a horse ranch basically, and she wanted shots of like her like horse but she wanted it to be like super like fashion magazine dramatic-y. So she wanted a gown, and she didn't want to spend a lot of money. And she's like, oh, I found this thing called Rent the Runway because it was pretty new then. That was right before they put it next to Adorama. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And she got like these like super expensive dresses, and we shot her in the snow with the horse. It was pretty awesome, actually.
In the snow with horses.
In the snow with horses, in a dress, and brown color mobile pack on a plastic bag sitting in the, because they're definitely not.
We haven't had that much snow in New York, so we haven't seen those Instagram snow shots yet.
Yeah, well, we had the 1 day of snow that we shot.
Yeah, they like, oh, it's snowing out, quick, get a bunch of dancers and let's get them in the middle of Times Square.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. I don't know how many people you're in this chat right now, but you guys feel free to ask anything that you've been hitting us up in the DMs.
Ask away.
They've been racking up.
Yeah.
Facebook has been racking up with a bunch of questions. We try to answer as much as we can, but it's kind of hard to stay up on it.
Yeah, for some reason, you should do this. Seth is going to do this, so you should get one of those Kit accounts like I got. So there's a site called KIT.com.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about this.
And basically you can list, I mean, it's everything. You can be like, if you're a chef, you can list your knives you use or whatever, but you can make kits. So what I'm starting to do is go through images that people ask me a lot about, and I put a picture of the thing, and I put the equipment I use. But I most recently wrote the information on my tripod, because that is probably the #1 question I get.
Yeah, people wonder why tripods cost more than another, and like, what should you look for? And, they all look the same after a while, but there's differences. It's just, what are you doing with it, and what do you want to spend? Because in my opinion, a tripod could last forever. Yep. So why skimp on it? But most people think, oh, it's just a bunch of legs that has a screw on it.
Right.
Why spend money?
Especially if you're not using it that much, because like you don't use a tripod that often, but it's still good to have a tripod.
I don't, but when I do, like a good tripod is like.
Exactly.
Like I borrow his, and I borrow that head that you're using right now.
That head.
That head is the best thing I ever used.
Yeah, the hydrostatic head is really nice.
What about native ISO thing I asked Daniel about?
Oh yeah, well, I thought I told you what that was.
What do
you want a deeper answer? Well, the idea of like native ISO, because you said what your Canon, right? It was like 160 or something you looked up. It just means that, this is actually a Dave question, but this just means that, that's the baseline of your sensor. So if it's 160, then they're not adding or reducing the amount of gain to get it to be there. So that's why I tell people, like, if you're, what I always usually say is, it's usually the lowest ISO the camera goes to normally. Not always the case, obviously, in this Canon it's not. So that's usually why I say that, when I'm like, I set my ISO as low as it goes within its normal range, because that's probably the native ISO. Because if you are like, oh no, I want less noise, so I'm going to go to 25 ISO, that can sometimes add noise because you're actually messing with the gain.
Well, not only does it add noise, but it restricts your dynamic range.
Right.
So actually, it's kind of funny because at Photo Kino, as soon as I went live, I said, I'm going to start at 100 ISO, and they're like, how come not 64? Your camera goes down to 64. I'm like, because I know my highlights aren't going to come back if I don't have them, and I know my shadows aren't going to, like, it can go that low, or Nikon has, I don't know how Canon does, but Nikon has like low 0.3, 7, and 1. So that really restricts everything on that sensor. It just makes it.
Yeah, it lowers your dynamic range. And actually, for that product stuff I was doing, the glasses, I often had to do that because I had way too much light. And I hated it because every time I had to drop down to like low, I'd be like, oh, this is going to kill like Mike. So I actually had to add contrast because I was losing dynamic range, so everything looked too flat.
And your shadows start getting
and your shadows. Well, I mean, it was pretty much clear, so I had like no shadows. It was no shadow.
Can you guys talk about flags, light, shaping light, using them to block bounce and such? Yeah, so just like we use bounce board or the Brooklyn reflector as we come to make a joke about it, actually we have, well, let's just grab this stuff. We're in a studio. I mean,
we are in a studio.
So this is
live from our studio.
Live from our studio
in New York City.
Oh, look, it's my mini V flat.
I love the mini V flat, actually.
The mini V flat.
By the way, I use that.
I use it all the time when I have to shoot those statues for that.
No, I use it on a person. I use the
totally out of frame right now, but who cares?
Switch to the other camera.
So
there's a wide.
Oh, there's a wide? Oh, cool. Look at this. We're all set up. I know we sucked at the live stream, but we're getting together. So just like this reflects light, this is going to absorb residual light. So if you light a subject and light is actually going to start reflecting, if you add in black or a flag, it's going to eat up that light. So you actually deepen the shadows. It's subtle, but it's there. And you got to think of this more of reflecting black. Is how I look at it.
I was going to say, that's a good way to describe it. Whatever you put, and I think the example that you do during your live demo with the construction paper is great, because whatever you put is going to reflect. So we use white reflectors because it reflects back white, it's clean. If you put black, it basically reflects black.
Yeah,
so that's negative fill.
Yeah, that's negative fill, but it also works really well for like shooting glass. Like you're actually eating up the light that causes it to just clear out that glass and make it completely see-through. If you have black on both sides, you start seeing an edge light to it.
It reflects the black, basically, and then you get an edge.
But as far as shaping the light goes, if light's going to go everywhere. You got to think of light like it's water. If you chuck a bucket of water, it's going to go everywhere you want to. But if you can funnel it, you can funnel light the same way with flags. So if I didn't want the background to be lit, but I'm like Daniel, I put a light here, I flag it here.
Right.
It'll light him, but it won't hit that background. That background doesn't go white, it goes gray, and that's me controlling the light.
Yeah, that's what you're going to use a flag for, keeping light off of things.
Oh, is he prettier? Look at that.
By the way, I think I fixed the white balance. I don't remember if I had the lights. I bought these LEDs in here, and they're weird color. So I went in, and they're actually, if you have a Sony and you happen to shoot in here, they are the fluorescent setting 0.
Do agencies respond to photographers who aren't established, that aren't local? Is there a way to get work in commercial fashion beauty before moving to a major market? Well, I'll say this. There's a lot of smaller agencies now than ever before.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by respond. Like, hey, I'm coming in 6 weeks. I want to shoot your models. They'll probably be like, okay, come see us in 6 weeks. Like, they don't, you know how many people.
That's true.
If you mean like, do they send models to other places? Bigger agencies certainly do. In fact, when I lived in Miami, a lot of models that we shot came from all over the world. You know, they fly the girl in if this pays enough. So there's that. And I guess it depends on what your commercial fashion and beauty. Yeah, I mean, about almost a year before I moved to New York, I got a New York cell phone number.
Yeah.
Which I still have to this day. And I started marketing myself as if I was in New York. And if somebody called me for a call-in, I'd fly up to see them. So you can do it, sure. I mean, you know, but when they need you need to be there. So
yeah, I just don't think you can walk into anything with something established.
Right. You can't like set the groundwork and you walk in, you're like functioning. That would be.
No one's going to set their business off on the chance you might be there, or they work with someone that's just a voice on a phone.
Right.
Whenever you go to seminars and people talk to you about cold calling and they're photographers, Go to a photo editor's seminar, and they'll tell you the first thing they say is, don't fucking cold call.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they're not going to answer your call. But yeah, I mean, you should, if you know you're moving to a market, you could start by sending postcards and other mailers and stuff like that to get on their radar. That is, so that when you actually show up.
What I would do is see if there's any talent in your area that'll be moving to a market that you're not there, and then work with them. And then when you get there, your work is basically already there.
That's actually very interesting because that is what happened with me in New York. Because like I said, in Miami, a lot of people come from other areas. So I worked with a lot of models. And when I moved to New York officially, like I had their models already in my book. Like I'd walk into agencies, they'd be like, "Oh, that's whoever. We represent her."
What's up, chillers? Do either of you sell fine art prints? If so, through what venue? I used to sell fine art prints, but through galleries, and I literally would sell them off the wall. So, and you did too.
Yep.
But I don't think you never did anything online, right?
No, I mean, no, not really. Not successfully.
I don't like the idea of it, and honestly, I don't care.
Yeah, I've sold portraits that way to actually through that same. That's funny. This whole horse thing comes in. That same woman, they were doing a charity to raise money for like a horse thing. So they came and I photographed people with her horse. It was like a prize horse or whatever, and like a percentage of it went to the charity that they charged. People had to pay to come to the thing. But then they allowed me to sell prints to kind of cover mine. Like I donated my time for the charity, but then I got to sell prints. And I did it through a service online, but it wasn't fine art. And that actually worked really well because you went in there and you marked it was like one of the wedding photographer would use.
I will say that we're in an age where people don't really buy fine art prints. They'd rather have like a conglomerate of a book or something that's cheaper that they damage it. They're not, like a lot of painters will never sell the painting, but they'll make like 100 edition of a print.
Yeah, I guess it depends on where you are. I mean, if you go down to like Union Square this time of year, like there's lots of guys selling prints and stuff because people give them as presents. But I don't think that just generally selling them is something that I would do. It's not. But I was never. I mean, I've only had a handful of gallery shows, and I sold them right off the wall when I did it.
Yeah, I sold them off the wall too. You have to photograph the Queen of England, but you can only bring one camera, one lens, one flash, and one modifier. What would they be? Just curious.
I don't know. What did Annie Leibovitz bring? I think she shot it with an RZ.
I would bring a Polaroid one-step, modified to do an off-camera flash, and I would use a pizza box as my modifier.
I like the direction you're going. I actually was going to go that direction and say a big shot, like fucking Andy Warhol style. But since that's going before me with the Polaroid, I don't want to look. I don't know. I mean, I have a feeling you're not going to impress the Queen.
Yeah, so go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a Leica. I don't know.
Everyone would go super high end. I'd want to do something so awkward.
Yeah, why not?
You know what? Fuck it. I'd shoot it with a camera obscura. I'd just drill a hole in the wall, and I would let it project onto the next wall.
Actually, I have pizza on my way there, and then make a camera obscura out of the pizza box.
You're not getting good pizza in London. Don't even fucking try that. We'd still gotta do that camera obscura.
Yeah, we're gonna make a camera obscura in this studio.
If you guys don't know what a camera obscura is, Google it right now. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's actually kind of funny. I mean, it comes down. The serious answer to the question though is that, like, if you only have one chance to make a certain shot, you want to bring equipment that you're super comfortable with and that you've relied on and has worked for you before. So that would be my.
The last thing you want to do is look like you don't know what you're doing to find some stupid setting.
Yeah, exactly. Just to show off.
Yeah,
exactly. So if you're used to using a flash on your camera and a APS-C camera, and that's what you shoot with, and they hired you based on that, that's what I'd use.
Yeah, I think people forget that, right? Like when they hire you, they're hiring you based on what you've done, not what you're going to do. Yeah. Right? So you kind of have to put out the work that you want people to hire you to do, rather than them believing you could pull off something else.
Exactly.
If you were where you were at Miami today, is New York still where you'd move? Oh, interesting.
Would I still move to versus? Yeah, I would. I think New York is still the fashion capital of the world.
Your subscriber.
Hey, I don't think that. I mean, people go to Paris and Milan. That's really very flashy. And that's cool. But ultimately, New York is where to come for fashion. So, if I had left Miami earlier, I may have gone somewhere else first. But where I was, my point that I was at in my career, this was the right place for me to.
You were shooting specific.
Yeah, I mean, I was already established to the point that I could walk into New York and be like, okay, I'm a photographer and I'm working. I have some stuff behind me. Unfortunately, most of the work was fading in Miami because nobody was flying there anymore.
Nobody was flying there anymore.
Well, it was after 9/11.
Oh.
So basically, like all the flights, we used to have all European clients. They didn't come. I mean, it was like that's what happened. So, so I was like, okay, time to put on my big boy pants and move to New York. So that's where I came. But I wouldn't have gone to like Europe. It wouldn't have made sense. Yeah.
What are the chances of you guys making a studio tour video? If we get that asked a lot, not for nothing, it's a fucking room. Yeah. Like, I mean, all I could show you is like another small room full of shit.
Yeah.
Another small room full of a counter with a mirror, and another small room with a couch that we're embarrassed about.
Well, so, we'll have to do it like cribs. This is where the magic happens. Actually, I have a video coming on at 5 o'clock to plug myself. And I shoot it with the 360 camera right in here. So if you really want to see the studio,
actually,
you see the whole room.
About the only thing that's really cool is that through those windows is a balcony to a 12th floor view of Chelsea, Manhattan, which is south facing. So you just watch the sun blaze through the sky, which is great.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty cool space, but it's not super interesting. Plus, I think it's more exciting for you guys to try to piece it together.
Oh.
In fact, why don't you guys grab video clips of stuff we've done in here and try to reassemble the studio?
Take a shoebox and make a diorama. Don't ask the queen till casual like Leibowitz did. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you can make any face you want, but Annie Leibovitz is probably the most successful portrait photographer ever, or at least currently living.
Well, currently living, I'll give you that. I'd love to see that couch. Yeah, we love to see the new couch.
Yeah, exactly. Paul,
hey,
where's
Paul,
the goddamn
Paul,
couch?
If you're watching, where's our fucking couch, man? No, but actually, that couch, I think we both slept on that couch a few nights.
Yeah. Such is the world. Yeah.
You know, sometimes you shoot late, you got an early morning, and you're like, is it worth it to get home for an hour or just grime it out?
Yep.
So, but this is a food studio, actually, we should mention. So there is an oven and a refrigerator, because one of our main photographers here is a well-known food photographer. Yeah. Which you're going to have on your channel soon, right?
Yeah, we're going to get Paul on at some point.
Yeah, this guy's awesome. I mean, French's, mustard, everything. This guy's worked for the Food Network. It is not the casting couch. Let's just make that clear. Yeah. No shadiness in this studio. Yeah. You know, there's Sheila, and that's all we need.
Yeah, we don't need any.
We don't need more casting couch. And I would hope that nobody else creates a studio out there with the context of it being more than somewhere you shoot.
Well, you shoot and you hang out with your friends.
Yeah, and you play D&D.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. But you actually made a video about don't be a creep.
Yeah, I did. And by the way, it got flagged by YouTube.
What?
So I had to, so when you put videos up on YouTube, like they let them go by, but like at a certain point, if like the robot like looks at things apparently, and because I used the word like creep or whatever in the title, they like stop. They didn't drop it, but they removed the monetization. So I had to like you can say manually watch it. So somebody at YouTube had to watch my video to make sure it wasn't actually about actually being a creep, which I think is funny because there's a lot of videos out there about being creeps that don't get pulled. So.
What does it say? Seth is the guy who buys belts so he can sag more. My pants fall down a little bit while I'm shooting. I'm sorry, but I'm working and there's a lot of shit in my pockets. I don't know what to fucking tell you. If I had no belt, it'd be hitting the floor. So
I thought they meant Screen Actors Guild.
Hey Alvin, this chat is pretty much an open.
It's ask us some questions that are hopefully
we just do this
relevant.
We don't usually we don't have much time in the studio, so we're figuring now would be a time to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you have questions about stuff, we will do our best to answer it. But I have a belt today, actually, too.
Have you done any videos on creating color shadows? Yeah, actually, there's one on this channel. I shoot a ladder.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
I shoot a ladder and I make the shadow a different color. And I did it on Adorama's IGTV as well. Mm-hmm. But I did that with Dave, and they didn't save the video.
Oh.
So it didn't go on IGTV.
I just shot one with Ashley.
Oh,
she's very nice.
She is fantastic.
Great person, and it will go live soon. Yeah.
Redhead, very nice redhead.
Yeah, very nice.
Movie studio. Don't understand. No, this is a photo studio. Did you just find this channel by accident?
Maybe.
Welcome.
It might be suggested. Yeah. We're photographers, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's what we do.
Yeah, and I mean we do shoot videos in here.
We just make lights go poof.
We do that.
That's all we do.
Even if they're hot lights.
We just hit a button for a living.
Yeah.
That's what I'm told anyway.
I mean, I've shot a little bit of film stuff in here, but it's not quiet enough to be a movie studio. It's more like a small daylight photo studio in Manhattan. Oh yeah, he did just find it. Welcome, Alvin. There you go. Give him the sales pitch to stay here.
Yeah, Alvin, you should stay here. This is pretty much a supplemental channel because me and him are both hosts on something called Adorama TV. And as well as this is our studio in New York City. We're pro photographers and we shoot live demos, trying new gear out, showing techniques and other stuff. Daniel, have you ever tried the Fuji 56mm 1.2?
Oh, is that the port? Yes. When it very, very first came out, I shot like a handful of frames. That's if I'm thinking of it, that's the one that's equivalent to the 85. That's when I had the X Pro 1.
Oh, I shot with that lens. They gave it to me with the T3 when they tried it out the roller derby. That lens is fucking great.
It's pretty nice. I already had bought the 90 equivalent, whatever that is, because I love they bought their lenses, which is the macro. So I didn't jump on it, although I kind of wish I had, because the macro is too sharp for me. As you know, I'm not a big macro person.
I like macro lenses for that. I've seen Seth shoot Daniel, but not the other way around. Are there some of those videos floating around?
Oh.
You shot me on 4x5 film.
Yep, which has not been developed. Because
which has been sitting for a year.
I'm letting it age so I can be like Kent Miller.
So it can be nice and flat?
Yes.
I don't know. You've never really shot me, I guess.
No, he's very incognito.
Well, I don't think you guys realize this, but for the most part of my career, I hid my face. It wasn't until...
Hold on, am I doing it right?
I know. It wasn't until 2015 that I actually started showing my face on media. Mm-hmm. And that's basically because he started having me do classes.
Yeah.
Hello, Seth and Daniel. Thanks for the great year of video content. Nice to hear from you, professional insight and views. Looking forward to another great year from both of you. Thanks you, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
Happy holidays. Can't wait to see you guys. Thanks, Alicia. Seth, if Nikon made a medium format, would you move away from full frame? Daniel, are you purchasing the X1D? First of all, I do believe that medium format's going to get to a point where it's so fast, it starts competing with FX for the sport capability. We're just going to get that speeds at some point. It's just going to happen. The processors, everything. We don't have to worry about motor drives physically moving something. So I love medium format. The size of it's a little crazy, but...
The X1D is smaller than the 50 with a grip on it. Yeah. I think that what's going to happen is... eventually, even though I think it's ridiculous, but eventually, like, people are going to be having like 100, 150 megapixel cameras, like, as their regular cameras, like the way they have 40. Like, your camera's what, 40 megapixels? Crazy.
47, yeah.
47 megapixels. I remember when cameras were like 25, and I was like, God, that's so many megapixels. It's like, that's what's going to happen.
When the D800 came out, you're like, 36 megapixels. Whoa.
And I think eventually, when that happens, then people will start leaning more towards medium format because you're going to get that finer detail. At a certain point, jamming that many megapixels in is going to be a problem.
Well, Fuji is dropping 100 megapixel medium format that's shaped like a full-size DSLR, and it's going to have stabilization in it. Now, what you guys don't realize also is the higher the res, the less you can handhold it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have problems with my Nikon sometimes with dropping the shutter to where I think I won't get shake, but I get shake.
Right.
And we're going to get that's going to get even worse and worse and worse. But then we're going to have stabilization that has to compete with that. So technology is still going to go forward, but we're going to get to a point where there's so many megapixels on a sensor that the noise level and the clean look to it is just not going to be there.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to eventually, and I think then like people will go there. But will I get an X1D? I think so, yeah.
Are there any plans for 2019, what you'll do on Adorama, especially live? I'll be continuing with Adorama Rewind and my live view show that's on the channel, which will still be sporadic, like once in a while. You have a heavy year ahead of you.
Yeah, I'll be not live, but I'll be every Tuesday now. So we're going back to that format, which I used to do when I was on staff as the creative director. But I also have a couple of live events at the end of January.
Yeah, but you're going to be coming back, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot. So I don't have anything planned. If there's something you want to see, always reach out. I mean, I pretty much make up the thing the day I walk in there.
Yeah, so that's true.
No, I planned it out a little bit.
That's kind of how I do it with the IG lives or the Instagram lives. I'm like, oh, what are you doing today? I'm like, oh, I'll let you know at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, we try to keep it timely, you know.
Are you going to sleeve out your other arm? Probably. I mean, I got my whole life ahead of me, so I got some space left.
Yeah, because Seth, well, I don't know this, but I'm going to make the statement anyway. Seth's been doing this for a long time. I mean, I think there's some people that are like, hey, I want to have a sleeve, and they walk in and just like do it.
Yeah, I don't believe in buying it. I don't believe in buying a sleeve. Like, I believe in living through my tattoos. Yeah. So my torso is pretty covered. My leg is pretty covered. I still have my neck, my back, my scalp, my
forehead.
You know, but eventually, I mean, you know, as things hit me, I get them tattooed, and you know, I try to make it all make sense and not look like a complete mess. I also like to do big pieces, not little trinket type stuff. So
yeah.
Like
I do one every about 40 years. So I'll get on my next one.
You have that one. That's a beautiful piece. Thank you. That's it, guys. Jeez.
Wow, okay. That's it.
Well, all right.
I mean, we've been cruising for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I think the year's winding down. I think people are just like, oh, yeah, let's get done.
Yeah, that's kind of like, this is quiet time, so we get to kind of like assess a little bit, look back and stuff. Good to see you both going back to your roots for a shoot. Seth doing some BMX and skater stuff. Oh, that's right, I did do something like that. Daniel doing Miami fashion. Should maybe see how you do things from differently from how you do now. That's pretty interesting. Going back to what we used to shoot with the way we shoot now. I haven't shot for real for BMX and skate since like 2004 easily. What you guys saw for the Z6 was like, hey, let's shoot something in action. Hey, my skater buddy, you want to come hang out?
I mean, I wonder how much it has changed because you've got a lot more capabilities of the cameras, you know, and you have more access now because you're more established too, beyond just anybody.
Well, also, when I shot BMX, I was scared out of my mind because every frame cost me money. I only had a certain amount of shots. I couldn't chimp at anything. And there's only so many times a guy could do something before he gets hurt, or it looks less, or he's tired, it looks less dynamic, or he get kicked out.
I also think like your resources, right? Like right now, like if you were to go to do a project, you could probably like set up remote cameras and shit like that. But when you first started, you didn't have the cash to do that. And like I said, every frame costs
It's almost scary, right? Like there's so much at your fingertips now that you're almost like more pressure of what you could do that you better do something.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to Florida in the winter and shoot a little bit. So maybe I will do something there. I mean, I don't know what they're doing now. I mean, I'll have to check. But when I first moved to Miami, we were doing overhead scrim, 400 millimeter lens. You know, you shoot and then you move like this. And it's a different background. Then it switched to using Hensel Porties to like overexpose or or underexpose the skies, probably the way to say it, to get the dark skies. That was big. I don't know what they're doing now. Probably the same shit. I don't think things have changed much.
Daniel, you often say if you use more lights during a shoot, you can charge more. Have you tried this with camera bodies?
Yeah, I mean, you always charge for the extra camera body, sure. I mean, when I say that, I mean, partially I'm joking, obviously. But
it's insurance.
It's insurance. It's also, on a serious note with the body, yeah, like when I go to do a job, normally if I'm shooting a job, not like stuff for you guys or like a model's portfolio or a headshot, like I will rent medium format cameras and I rent a second one and I charge for it, and everything you charge for, don't listen clients, you mark up, right? So in a sense, you do charge.
Well, it's just like anything else. If a store buys something at $5, they don't sell it at $5. Right. If everything you do, they're paying for, you're making a living.
Right.
It's that simple.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, yeah, you do, but you want to always have a backup camera if you're doing a job for sure. I mean, that goes.
Have you seen the large format digital sensors? Yeah.
Wait, the scanning ones? The scanning backs, or are there
large
larger
format backs?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, those are scanning backs mostly. Right, because the ones that actually are big they go unless there's newer ones I haven't seen. Then I would say no.
No, they're not an actual sensor. It's a rolling scan.
Yeah, it's a rolling scan. They used to put medium format backs on them. I mean, I've shot phase ones in the back of 4x5s.
I remember when I first shot my first medium format digital, and it came with a Palm Pilot. The Mamiya actually came with a Palm Pilot, which doesn't exist anymore, to see what you're doing. Yeah. And the resolution of that was a piece of shit. I was like, what is the point of this?
Yeah, I guess it's just so you know there's something. The same thing was true, like the P25 Plus was one of my favorite digital backs of all time. I would still use it today if I had access to one.
We got a bunch here.
And that had a shitty screen on the back.
They're out finishing the shopping for new gear. I'd like to see more location portraits, balancing model lights with ambient light, how to pick up, what is this? A location, how to pick a location.
Oh.
Well, interesting enough, that might happen at WPPI.
Oh, yeah, We're gonna do stuff at WPPI.
Yeah,
we can't say what yet. It's just we're gonna be there.
We'll be making announcements shortly. But if you're gonna be at WPPI or in Vegas end of February, we will be there. So make sure to connect.
Yeah.
What's with your worldwide T-shirt business? You guys are more than welcome to hit the link that's in any other, at the bottom of any other of my videos. I'll put it in the bottom of this one too. Is my Shopify store that has some of my work, like my shots on merch, including dresses, leggings, bags, all sorts of shit. All that stuff goes to fund this channel, so to help me get better streaming gear. Like, I don't want to put any money into this channel unless it makes it itself. So if you want to see better content or you want to throw some support, buy a shirt. He has his own store on Amazon.
I do have shirts here too.
He has shirts. You can buy his freaking Muppet face.
Yeah, if you go to 1200 sessions on 1200 sessions on Amazon, you'll find me.
I'd actually love to see your old pictures. Chillers, you can actually go on either lastxwitness.com and hit the archives folder. plenty of old shots. Or go on my Instagram and just scroll all the way back. And you will see plenty of old work, I promise you.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Including my old street work, which is when I used to cover my fucking face. If you don't have a light meter in a shooting film, how do guide numbers play a role in using flash? Feet versus meters is confusing. Well, you just have to convert the guide number to whatever you're using, pretty much.
I did a video on this, so if you want to watch it, go to On Set playlist on NRM TV. But basically, yeah, if you don't, you can convert your feet to meters. I mean, that doesn't, it's feet or meters, basically. They usually give you two numbers. One's for the feet and one's for the meter. You divide your guide number by the distance, and that's your f-stop.
At ISO 100.
At ISO 100, assuming that's how they have the flash rated.
Yeah. I'm from Amsterdam. What are your favorite wide lenses, and what is your perspective approach? That's really funny because I'm about to have my video from Amsterdam be released, and I shot with a 14 millimeter Nikon 2.8 from 2002. I have that lens from.
That's a nice lens.
Yeah, I love that lens. It's an old lens. It's beat to shit, but it's still amazing to me. Although I do like the Irix 15 millimeter. I really enjoy this lens. Yeah. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's a pretty low cost manual focus, but that manual focus is so nice tight.
Irix, so IRIX.
And I do like a nice 24 millimeter is a fun lens, and 35 alike.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what you consider. Right, I always think like super wide when people say wide angle, but yeah, I mean probably 35 if I had to pick one.
35 is a good street lens, I feel.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what do you think about Ligma demographic? I don't know
what that is.
Let us know what Ligma demographic is, and we'll let you know. How much would you charge your parents in a box, a very red damp box? I don't know what that even means.
Okay.
What are your favorite types of physical prints? Will you do a video of developing physical prints?
Just bump them.
What?
Yeah, this is the same guy that wrote the thing that you got. Yeah.
What does it say? What are your favorite types of physical prints?
Oh.
So I actually really enjoy emulsion transfers.
Oh yeah.
And I really like image transfers. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like dead now because the film is basically gone.
Somebody is going to bring back Peel Apart.
Peel Apart is an interesting one because it's so expensive to make, and the machines are so specific that Polaroid, Impossible Project, couldn't even bring that back. But Fuji had the method, and they just canceled.
Yeah, but I saw somewhere online that they're on Instagram or something that popped up. Somebody was talking about somebody's trying to remake the Fujifilm.
If they can remake the Fujifilm, I have a Polaroid memorial tattoo on my thigh over this. Like it was a heartbreak for me.
Yeah.
But I really do like that. But if I had to pick like actual prints, I like very matte black and white. I'm a big fan of matte black and white, and I do like. If I had to choose digital, I am starting to like this metallic paper because it looks like Cibachrome to me.
Oh, interesting. That is true. That's true.
And Cibachrome is a method in which you print positive slides in a dye-destructive method. So the paper starts off black and actually breaks down the colors instead of starting out white or blue for C41, and actually is a negative aspect from a negative. So. Wow, god damn, is that nerdy.
Yeah, that's good.
But Cibachrome is really beautiful. I still have a pack of it, just to remember it, because it was such a beautiful, I only got to print it 3 times in my life, and I'll never forget that, ever.
I've never actually printed Cibachrome, but I have paid to have people print Cibachromes for me, and they are beautiful. Yeah.
It's some iffy stuff. Or SX70 original format, where you can actually scrape the emulsion, is some of my favorite physical stuff.
Also cool too, yeah.
Sending love from the T-Dot.
Oh.
Thanks. Have you seen the new 16K Sucon digital camera? Sucon. 16K camcorder. We have not come to Toronto. Send us plane tickets. We'll go to Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
What factors influence whether a photo looks better in color or black and white? For me, it's if the color is more of a distraction than an enhancement of the image. Mm-hmm. If there's something about the geometrics and textures that I want to see more than just the color that's blocking me from really enjoying it. Like I find old wood looks really great in black and white because I don't care about the color as much as I care about the peel and the texture and things like that. So,
yeah, things that the color becomes the thing that draws your eye. Or distracts, like you said. So, like if it's a very flat image, but there's something bright in there that's colorful, that sometimes the color is worth having.
Yeah, I think people forget that black and white is still a surreal notion.
Right.
So you kind of, if you really want to get a grasp on the subject matter itself and get away from the static noise, like clear, a big thing to think away as you're clearing away the distraction and you're just looking at geometrics, textures, someone's expression more than the color of their skin, things like that. Has one of you two used anamorphic lenses for stills? I have not, actually.
No, not really. I mean, I've shot stills with anamorphic lenses that I was messing around with to do video with, but I don't know why you'd want to do that because it's going to compress everything and make it really skinny. I mean, it could be interesting. I guess if somebody's really heavy.
That's so stupid.
I don't know why you would do
What about a live with a stylist, an art director, a makeup artist to show how to work on an idea that is not yours? We could do that. I have plenty of makeup artists that I could throw in here we could have a chat with. Have you created a digital negative and developed that in Palladium? No. Actually, no, that's a lie. I totally did that. I have Palladium prints on my wall at home, actually.
From a digital negative?
Yeah, I actually did a composite in Photoshop just to see what would happen and made what was called Pictorico back then, which was a ceramic dust-coated acetate. So I made the print and I did Palladium printing. It's fine. It wasn't...
It's a thing. I mean, Kent does it, actually.
Yeah.
He does platinum, but...
Platinum is beautiful.
Yeah. But basically he does that. He makes a big...
You guys look more like touring audio engineers than photographers. Not that photographers have a look, but engineers. Thanks. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm an engineer.
Should we wear those shitty vests with 1,000 pockets?
That's what we should do.
Should we look like the Sony kids and have like sweatpants that bite our ankles and some giant
Hold on, my
letters on the
sweatpants bite
side?
my ankles.
I don't know. Do I need Supreme across my chest? Is that what I need? Because that's what photographers look like now, right? I don't even know anymore.
I don't know. He said that he doesn't know photographers.
What personal projects are both of you planning for 2019? Is educating your primary job now? It's definitely my primary job now.
Yep, it is.
Personal projects are tough because we're spread pretty thin just coming up with stuff for this. And then after a whole week of doing that, you're like, hey, let's shoot even more.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree with you, but I disagree in a sense. What I generally do is I actually am constantly shooting, and then I use that to draw ideas for the videos.
Yeah, that's true. I do envy that you find these like things you want to shoot and then find a way to incorporate them. Me, I'm kind of like rushing things together.
Yeah, because that's how I come up with ideas. Like I'll be doing something and I'll be like, oh, that's a video. Like, and that's just how I do it. I mean, so that's what I try to do. Personal, I mean, I don't really do projects in that sense. I mean, I'm just always shooting.
I think I would like to get back into it, but I wouldn't want to get back to it unless I know I can dedicate the energy and time. Because if I half-ass something and I don't want to put it out, well, it would.
But I also feel like a lot of times when people are doing projects, they either feel forced to me when I look at like people's projects, or they're not really projects until they realize they were doing it, which I think is more where I fall into. You just start doing something, and all of a sudden you look and you're like, oh, man.
Like the fruit project that I'm trying to get you to do.
Okay, we're going to do the fruit project.
I'm telling you, the fruit project's going to come out.
All right,
You'll
fruit
see.
calendar next year.
Is photography career what you both plan to do in life? If you're not a photographer, what occupation would you see yourselves doing? This actually wasn't my initial plan, and I was really young when I went pro because I started getting paid and I started paying more attention to it. But initially, when I was 15, I thought I was either going to be a welder.
Oh.
Because I was heavily into BMX and I was making bike parts.
Yeah, that's
or
actually pretty
two, I thought I was going to be a jeweler because I was really into this meticulous metal work and I was just about to get into it. My father's an engineer, so I was getting into it with the way he was showing me how metals work and things like that. And then I took a bunch of stuff, threw it in an envelope, and ended up getting a job working at some magazines. So I just had more fun riding my bike and shooting my friends, and it just kept on escalating.
That's pretty cool, though. Being a welder is pretty awesome now.
Yeah, I kind of wish I still kept with it in case this all falls apart. I had a practical...
You don't need to be retired, man.
We
fucked up. We totally fucked up. No, I think for the most part, I had thought about being a writer when I was younger.
Oh, interesting. Well, you were in the Army, too, so you could have had like a whole...
I could have, but I knew that was short-lived. And then I have pretty much always wanted to do photography. So, I was like, oh, I'm a photographer. I saw some movie. Girls liked the photographer. I was like, oh, that's for me.
Yeah, but I never thought of it like...
Blow up.
A profession. I always thought of it like, this is good for now. And then it just kept sticking around.
What's funny is that, right, so when I first decided I was going to be a photographer, I didn't know anything about it. So, like, I just kind of...
Sorry.
I didn't know like what you would do, and then immediately like everybody who I talked to that were adults, they're all like wedding photographer, and then I knew that's not what I want to do. Yeah. So like I figured out what else you could do, and then that's when I realized you could get into advertising and stuff. Well,
I think that I have to say I'm very, very lucky because initially I shot BMX and skateboard. I got to live that life. I got to ride my bike, get pages, and I was like, this is a real thing. Like it was a dream, and I was so young. And then I got to shoot for fine art, whatever I wanted, saying whatever I wanted, and be in galleries. And then went from that to shooting zombies, aliens, and freakish things like that. So I never had this whole like, I better learn how to get headshots going, or weddings, or the typical avenues. So I feel super lucky. So I knew forever, I was like, I can never shoot weddings. I shot 2 weddings in my life, and I wanted to hang myself both times. It was fucking terrible.
Well, it's definitely a certain way of working. I think what you're saying is really interesting and kind of important. I think if you look at photography beyond those kind of like consumer types of photography,
what sells?
You have to live the life to be like the cool types of photography.
Well,
like
if you're representing it by showing your viewpoint of it, it should be because you're part of it somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're somebody who shoots music or whatever, you're usually out with musicians, and that's why you are doing it. It's not like you're like, okay, my 9 to 5 is to go shoot musicians, then I'm gonna go. It's like that's just not what you do. Like if you really want to do that, you can't like not be that person. You have to be in it.
Well, that's true too, because he literally made himself have to do this. Like it wasn't like I have a safe job in this, and we're not telling you to go quit your jobs, but
quit job.
You have to get to a point where, but I'll give you the Spider-Man reference of you have to just take that leap of faith. I just saw Spider-Verse, so I'm like stuck in it.
I haven't seen it yet. No spoilers.
Well, that's in every Spider-Man. Daniel, you're still interested in the Z6? If so, for what kind of work? The Nikon Z6?
I think it's kind of interesting. I don't know. If they give me one, I'll try it. I'm not going to drop $2,000 to buy one at this point. I'd rather buy a Hasselblad. The reason why I think the Z6 is interesting to me is because it's the price point, and also I want a low megapixel camera because I'm almost certainly going to have the Hasselblad soon.
Okay. Oh. We're gonna wrap this up soon, but.
Yeah, so I'll have the Hasselblad for high megapixel, and then I'll have that. Because I gotta tell you, like, if I'm just shooting something and I don't need the megapixels, like, I hate having such heavy files.
Yeah, I had a huge amount of files this week. That Makeup Forever shoot I did was 300 some odd gigs.
It's crazy, right?
Those are Instagram photographers. When I was talking about the scream across the chest.
I have an Instagram account.
Follow me. In an ever-changing world of photo, tech formats, medium format, DSLR, mirrorless, do you see a future with only one format? And can all these formats exist side by side, personal preference? I think we'll always have multiple formats.
Yeah, me too, and we always have.
It's just like that's like saying every car is an SUV. It has to be SUVs now. I don't think it's the same way. Do you have a personal preference though?
What, the world should be the same, or personal preference for format?
For format. It's tough because it's subjective to what
you're
doing.
I mean, for what I do, I like the Hasselblad, the X1D, so the medium format.
For studio settings?
Yeah, but anything. But the thing is, when I shoot like sports or any of that kind of stuff, I don't shoot like, that's just not how I shoot. Like I preset and I shoot one frame, that's just how I work. So for me, but I also shot with the Mamiya RZ before that, so it's like.
Yeah, it's kind of habitual, right?
Yeah.
Like I've never been a spray and pray guy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have cameras that
you can do it. I have the friggin' whatever that Canon is called that I use. That thing's like, it's like 14 frames.
I mean, I use a Nikon D850, and I've always used full frames pretty much. And every time I pick up one that's not a full frame, I'm always like, oh, like in my head, just the shape of the frame, like Micro Four Thirds does not work in my head.
See, Micro Four Thirds works for me because it's the same format as 645, which is what I shot a lot of. I shot with an RZ, which is 6.7, and then a 645. But yeah, I agree with that. You know, you go with what you like. So I don't really have a preference.
I think it would be more about the subject first, then I pick my tools, just like anything else.
So it would be his dream if you said his name.
Cool. Benjamin Bach. Back?
Done.
Benjamin Back?
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe you have to say it right. Maybe it's
Ben Back? B Back? You can decompress the anamorphic pic in Photoshop with us creating a panoramic image with example. Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense.
Are people in New York creative community and photography industry open to working with people who don't share their personal politics? Part 1. Not to debate politics, but it does seem like a concern as an outside observer wanting to work with the industry. Part 2. I'm just going to say that nowadays people don't just buy the product, they buy the philosophy of the brand behind the product. So if you're trying to be a part of a brand and like if you don't believe in what they believe in, odds are you're not going to work well together.
That's true. I mean, that's a good way to address it.
When highlights blown out and are not
disturbing in the final image from the subject, is that issue for you?
When highlights blow out are not disturbing. Oh, so are you saying if the highlights blow out but they still work, is that an issue? No. Sometimes I like my highlights blown out if it works for the image.
Yeah, 100%. I blow out highlights all the time.
Yeah, sometimes I crunch shadows to death. Yeah. If it works for the image, it works, you know?
Yeah, I think that people who are photographing like charts on the wall for sharpness and worrying too much about that crap need to shoot more. Do you have to choose one brand for APS-C? Which would it be?
Fuji.
Yeah, I was going to say
100% Fuji.
Yeah.
I really love Fuji. If not, I'd go Olympus. But Fuji. Oh, is Fuji? Is Olympus?
Olympus
APS-C?
is Micro Four Thirds.
Micro Four Thirds.
Yeah, sorry.
So APS-C, billion%
Fuji.
Fuji. I really love what they're doing. They have a great outlook in their colors and everything, and they've been a proven company for ever.
Yeah, and also it's all they have. Which means that they're not with the medium format. I mean, they don't have full frame, so it's not like you're like. Because remember that the APS-C camera in most brands is not their top of the line camera. So you're basically restricting yourself. If I was to say, let's say Canon, right? They don't make their top of the line APS-C is not their top of the line full frame. Same thing in Nikon, right? Like what's the top of the line APS-C? The 750.
D500.
Yeah, so that's not near a D5. I mean, you
actually it has the focusing of the D5, so it might be close.
Maybe it does. Okay.
I don't know.
But I would go Fuji because then you don't have to worry about it. You can have any of the cameras.
Yeah.
Plus they have beautiful skin tones.
Okay, guys, we're going to go for like less than 10 more minutes because I actually have to get back to Brooklyn.
Yeah, you're supposed to be back by 5.
Well,
yeah, he turns into a pumpkin.
Yeah, well, I want to get back before 6. That's my goal.
Okay.
And it's the weekend and trains suck in New York.
Any final questions? Yeah, so...
final questions. Say them now, kids.
Spit it out.
Did we miss it? Did we miss anything?
Yeah, let's see if we missed anything.
Thanks for this chat, by the way, everybody. This can't work without you guys. Seth, you shoot a lot of special effects makeup, which I love. How much editing on the face would you do? Does it, oh boy. Does it change the makeup artist's vision if you edit too much?
Well, I like this.
I'm going to say this one time, and that is it. I do not edit my special effects shot as far as retouching at all. If you guys ever watch me on set, I do everything I can, in every way I can, to light. Actually, I think we even have on your channel me lighting special effects. And it goes from my camera, most time, to the client or makeup artist themselves' own hard drive, and I'm out. I just shot for Makeup Forever for the last 3 days. It went from my camera, literally to their hard drive that they bought for me that day, and that is it.
Yep.
So I do not, if your makeup artist has rough edges on their prosthetic, or the paint is sucky or whatever, there's things I can do with lighting to an extent, but at the most point, I need a makeup artist that knows what they can do on the set to fix what's going on there. But if it's a texture issue, most times I can fix it. If it's a paint issue, that's another story. There's plenty of things you can cheat, hide, accentuate, freak out, distract.
But I'll also say this, not being that this is a question for you, that like you're shooting with people that are like building their portfolio for Makeup Forever.
Most of the time.
So like, you know, but the thing is, if you are doing a special effects makeup and you hire an artist and they're getting paid thousands of dollars to do it, and they have seams and shit, they need to fix that shit.
No,
right?
yeah, for real. If I'm paying a makeup artist, and it's like when I did the D850,
right?
I called up the best makeup artist out of my roster that I knew that could come through, and she gave me that blue alien that some of you might have seen. I didn't have to worry about anything with that light, and I had free reign to do whatever style light I want. Yep. If they have bad edges, I have to watch which way I light, because I can make textures fly hard. If I light from underneath too hard, every texture in the world is going to come up. Yep. So you got to watch out for that. What's your opinion of the Leica mount alliance, the L mount?
Oh, that should be interesting.
Are Leica lenses worth the price tag if you put them on a Panasonic body? Oh, interesting. I'll let you take that.
Yes, I would say are they worth the money? Because Panasonic, remember that Panasonic and Leica have...
did your video just come out?
Yeah, my video comes out at 5.
Oh, it's out?
Yeah, my video's out, so if you guys want to see the studio. The 360. So yeah, what do I want for Christmas? Opinion on Leica. So yeah, Panasonic and Leica have been working together for a long time. I think the lenses are worth it, assuming that, because remember, it's not taking a Leica lens and sticking it on Panasonic. It's a camera that's made to take these lenses. Because one of the biggest problems you're going to have is you grab yourself a Sony, which a lot of people do. I have one right here. And they take a Leica lens and they shove it on there and they go, aha! The problem is the Sony's not designed to take the Leica lens, so it doesn't know how to handle it. So it doesn't get the full, it doesn't work the same as it does on Leica, no matter what people want to tell you. Believe me, I know people that have Sonys and they literally bought a Leica body just because they had the lenses and they were like, shit, it doesn't look as good as it should. So Yeah, as long as you're working on a camera that has the ability to recognize and adapt to those lenses, because that's what digital cameras do, then yeah, it should look great.
I'm pretty curious what Sigma is going to do with this.
Yeah, me too.
L mount with their art series. But you have to also remember, like I just mentioned, the color space of the lens is huge, and that's a lot of the beauty of Leica to me is their color, and it's because of the lens.
Yeah, color and consistency and micro contrast.
What do you want for Christmas? Sleep. Sleep. Although I'm going to get Chinese food and see a bunch of movies, so.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Is there a online live stream?
Will there another live stream on yours or Daniel's channel this year? I'm sure.
Oh.
100% sure.
Before them? Yeah, sure, I'm sure we will.
Thank you both for the right comment. Thank you so much, Flower City Bread Co.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to close this out.
Yep.
Daniel Norton on Instagram, 1200sessions.com.
Yeah, if you want to see the...
if you guys want to grab either of our merch, you can... Fuck you. He doesn't promote enough, so fuck him. You can. I'm going to throw the link at the bottom of this, but the link is on every one of my videos on this channel. I'm going to try to grow this channel as much as I can. 2019, we're going for it.
We're going for it. You're going to have a lot of subscribers in 2019.
Sure, yeah, we'll see.
Growing. So yeah, if you want a shirt with my face on it, Amazon.
Panasonic's usually like a glass on there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Panasonic knows how to work with Leica. That was what I meant. So yeah, I think it should be fun. I'm kind of excited actually. And Panasonic is, you can't sleep on Panasonic. They're about
to drop a monster camera. So I mean a monster camera. Their S1 and S1R are going to be.
Yeah, they should be really interesting.
Really interesting. Although they are full contrast autofocus, so I'm kind of curious. So we don't know yet. No one's even touched it yet. Calm the fuck down. All right. People love hating. Happy holidays to all you guys too. If you guys do like the Daniel Muppet shirt, take a picture of yourself in it, post it, and he'll shout you out.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely shout you out if you wear my shirt.
And I'll do the same for you. Thanks to whoever just bought socks, by the way. Someone bought one of my pairs of socks. Thank you so much.
It's socks with Seth's face on it.
No, it's not. It's socks with my pole dancer photos on it. Everyone who's bought shirts from me, thank you so much. All that money is going towards me buying some streaming gear to make this a cleaner channel.
Right, so I have to keep borrowing mine.
Yeah, I'm borrowing his right now. So, guys, thank you so much. We can't do this without all of you. I will see you on Adorama Rewind next year. He'll be coming out with more stuff.
Right now. Watch my channel right now.
Actually, yeah, you just dropped the video on 360. The Theta 360 is awesome. I guess.
Sorry about the audio.
Are you going? You're done at Adorama for the year, right?
I am done doing live stuff for Adorama for the year. Yes.
Okay. So
I'm done. Period. January 1st is my next Adorama video.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. So that should be very exciting. That's how they're squeezing 53 out of me this year. Because literally the 1st of January is my first video.
If you guys are on Twitter, I'm trying to be more active on that. Last Ex-Witness on Twitter as well.
Oh yeah, we gotta start tweeting.
We're trying to tweet. I'm trying to put my thoughts. Whenever I'm saying something out loud to myself, I'm like, oh, let me just type it here. And that's where I wrote that thing about the waiter.
Oh yeah. See, I always feel like when I'm typing on Twitter, I'm like that guy that's standing on the street corner and just talking to themselves.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if anyone gives a shit what I'm saying. I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen. So again, have a great New Year. Let's make this awesome. Always elevate yourself. Blah blah blah. Inspirational shit.
Yeah, inspirational. Bye bye. Blah blah blah. I think you just hit that button there and it ends it.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Let me see. Go live.
More Kent Miller. Yes, for sure.
Kent Miller's awesome. If you don't know Kent Miller, go check out Kent Miller. KM Studio on Instagram. All right. Bye.